Hello and welcome to part 2 of Let's Play Modded Skyrim. Where we had left off last time was we were looting the dead Stormcloak soldier's stuff, and we're just taking his axe now, but we can't take too much of his stuff. As you can see, our carry weight limit's only 80, and that's because of one of the limited carry mods we're using. Another mod we're using is a food and drink mod, which is called Just Another Needs mod. And here you can see that it made food, drink and sleep an essential part of the game. It's also made alcohol bad for you. It makes the vision blurry, it makes you fall over, so you've actually just got to drink water instead of alcohol to stay alive. There's a lot of Nord mead and Alto wine and a lot of alcohol in the game, so avoiding alcohol and drinking normal water is a bit of a challenge, just like getting enough food, drink and sleep to survive. Another good thing about this mod is that it doesn't kill you if your food runs out, it's just a debuff. Another mod that I've selected is the skill grinding cap mod. A big problem with the original Skyrim was that you could level up just by grinding potions or grinding smithing, especially just casting restoration spells all the time or rally spells on your companions, and it would take the fun out of leveling up. And what this mod does, it caps how much you can level up and go up in a certain skill, so you can't advance very quickly in one day. You can't cheat by grinding skills, and what that does for me is it stops me doing boring repetitive tasks like smithing, alchemy, enchanting just to go up levels. No more running back and forth between smiths so you can get enough iron to make iron daggers. You can set how long there needs to be in between each level up and each skill point, and I've just put the settings so it takes about a day in between each level up. Of course you can get around this by just willpower and refusing to power level through smithing and alchemy, but I don't have that kind of willpower. And it's good to have a mod like this so you can concentrate on the game instead of just trying to level up all the time. It's simple to activate as well. That's the skill grinding mod. It just really adds to the entire role-playing element of the game. As I just exit out of this menu, we get the basic needs menu just popping up here, and this is just to confirm that I am happy with all the settings. I am, so I'll just quit and let that run. Now we go on to the main quest, and apparently we're trapped in this room with nowhere to get out. So what shall we do? Fortunately, we hear a sound and someone starts coming along, and it happens to be these poor Imperial guards. I shouldn't feel sorry for them since they tried to execute me. In fact, I think this is the Imperial captain that wanted to kill me for no reason at all. On Master difficulty and with combat mods installed, this fight is actually quite difficult. My stamina drains very quickly. Unfortunately, I've got my follower to do all the hard work for me, otherwise I'd certainly be in trouble. Some of the NPCs in this game dual wield weapons, which is a nice touch. Not when you're on the receiving end though. We just need to look for the key out of here, and I will start to loot them as well. My character's playing as a stealthy character, so I will ignore all that heavy armor, pick up the light armor. I'll go to equip that light armor. I also don't want this iron war axe because it's not a very thief-like weapon. Unfortunately, the iron dagger is a really bad weapon, so I'll have to make do with the Imperial sword, which is a steel sword, which is a good weapon for a level 1 character. So I'll just donate this Imperial soldier my axe and borrow his Imperial sword. My companion has found the key out of here, but I'm not too interested in following him right now. Instead, I'll go and explore the guard room, which I know is all the way back here. What I do like about this game is all the clutter and detailing that you've got. Don't need anything in the chest, apart from the key. I will, however, take a look at this wine, because with the basic needs, I will have to drink, otherwise I'll get debuffed. It's also worth some gold to sell as well. Pick up the gold, that's useful. And another thing that I'll do is I'll pick up these books, Holds of Skyrim, because I'm actually very interested in the lore of Elder Scrolls, even though that's incredibly sad. It's what really makes the game of Skyrim and the game of Elder Scrolls worth playing. You have this fabulous open world, really well written lore behind it, and it's really a shame just to skip over all the books, just to go on to the adventure. And through this Let's Play, what I'll intend to do is to talk a bit about the lore as well. Even though I'm not a lore expert, I'm sure that anyone watching this Let's Play will think that I've got it wrong, or that I'm stupid, or I need to go and read some more. Anyway, I'll speak a bit about a couple of the combat mods. The first is the Tk Hitstop mod. You access that through your magic spells. You need the Skyrim script extender for it to work, and what it does is it makes time slow when you hit an opponent, and it also gives a blur effect and a camera shake effect. It's purely cosmetic, but it gives the impression that you're actually hitting someone instead of just waving a sword through the air. You can customize it to exactly how you want, so you can make the blur effect, time stop effect really obvious. But what I've done here is that I've set it just above default, so that you get a obvious sensation of hitting your opponent, and you can change that any time in game. Another mod that I've loaded on is a very popular mod. It's called Deadly Combat, and this is version 3.87, and I'll just cast the spell to customize it so you can see exactly what it does. It changes the stagger, it shortens it so you don't get spammed. It also alters the stagger mechanism as well, so staggering is more consistent. Another thing is that it changes the blocking mechanism. So blocking actually does something. It blocks most of the damage, it takes away a lot of stamina unless you do a timed block, and you can turn that on or off. I've kept it on. It also does locational damage, so where you hit your opponent is actually relevant, and it also makes first person combat better as well. And so those two are the main combat mods that I've got loaded on. It also cuts down the time of the health regeneration as well, so health regenerates very slowly during combat, because in Skyrim Vanilla healing was far too fast and it spoilt the game. These effects don't quite make the game on the level of Dark Souls, but it does actually improve the combat a lot more, and if you play with them you'll get a lot more out of the game, especially if you play on Master difficulty. The combat is a lot more tactical. You have to withdraw, you have to block, and you have to manage your stamina, and that's a lot more fun than just smashing the mouse button. So we're just following this corridor down. It's the only way that we can go, and we run into this scripted event of this tunnel collapse. Just looking at all these rocks, there's nothing that we can do. But never mind, because my companions decided to take point, and that's really good for me. Good for him as well, since he's invincible. I'll just pause out here. I think I'll go and try and help him out. I don't know if you saw the hit stop effect then. Maybe that was too quick. Let's try it on this soldier, and I'll just tap him on the back gently, just to let him know what I think of him. But I certainly notice the difference when I'm playing the game, and hopefully you can see it as well. Not much else to do around here. Those Imperials don't really have too much treasure around them. There's a few potions. Also there's a cast iron pot, which is quite useless in the vanilla version, but in modded Skyrim you can melt that down into iron, or you can actually turn it into a cooking pot. Not much use for all the other items like a bucket, so all I'll do is pick up all the rest of these potions, which are going to come in very handy later on, because if you play master difficulty you'll know that you need potions to survive. Salt is useful for alchemy and it's useful for cooking as well, because with salt you can convert raw food into cooked food at a cooking pot, and my Khajiit can't actually tolerate raw food. So that's about a wrap for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it and hope to see you for the next installment. That will be part 3.